Hello again, my name's Nick Beck, and as I said before in my last review, or my kind of quick review on my new Longines Hydroconquest, I'd like to do a more in-depth review, and not necessarily such a review, but a kind of more in-depth look at it. So, right in front of me I have the box, and the box is a kind of standard, rather nice cardboard, if you like, Longines square magnolia off-white box. Nothing exciting there. In the bottom of the box there is this little drawer, and inside the drawer it has possibly the biggest manual I've ever seen with user instructions. Inside the manual there is possibly every conceivable Longines on the market at the moment. It explains how to work everything. It's in every conceivable language, and it's actually quite a nice catalogue of different watches. So may even kind of pick my next Longines from this little book, or say little book, it's enormous. So that's the user guide. So moving on to the watch box itself. A rather nice feel. I think it's a leatherette, but it could be leather with Longines embossed on the top there, and the wooden and leatherette interior with the Longines Hydroconquest just sat there. As you can see, it's got this rather nice kind of veneer wooden logo panel on the front. Seems to be kind of like a leatherette inside here. It's all very nicely done. It's quite classy, and yeah, it looks very good quality. And of course, inside is the watch. So what I'm going to do is gently take the watch out. It seems to be quite tight fitting in the box, which I guess is a good thing for the sake of the shipping. So what I'll do is I'll slide it off the little padded cushion and bring it up. So here it is, my new Longines Hydroconquest in rather fancy, rather attractive blue. It's quite difficult to actually see the blue colour in this light, but there you go. If I turn it into the sun, turn it into the window, should I say, there you go. You can see it's a really deep sort of ocean blue. You have the 12, 9 and 6 are very prominent on the dial, and you can see the date outlined in white. The markers all the way around, and if you look at the very tip of the second hand, there's a lovely detail with little red arrowhead, which is something I mentioned before in my previous video. I really like that. I don't know why. It's just a really cool little detail. So moving on, I'm going to push the crown in. It's a lovely, very, very firm and solid screw down crown with a rather nice, if you can see that, the logo for Longines just on the side. Just wipe off my fingerprints. So turning back to the watch, you have 120 click standard bezel. It's actually loud. People have criticised it a bit. I actually like it. I think it's a really nice solid feature on the watch. It's quite mechanical, and it is very stiff. It goes very, very precisely to the top of the 12, and there's absolutely hardly any movement in it at all. So that's the bezel. So again, the sun's come out a little bit now, so I can kind of point the watch into the window, and you can see this gorgeous blue face. Now turning it that way looks black again. So in the evening, I think people will probably think I was wearing a black diver's watch. So looking closely at the dial, you have the Longines logo on the top there, automatic, 300 meters, approximately 1,000 feet water resistance. So turning the watch over, you have the, again, Longines logo just on the diver's clasp of the bezel, and you can see it says on there 300 meters. So let's open it up. It's still stiff. I had the watch nearly 2 weeks. It still seems to be very stiff. If I just had a bit of a... There we go. So inside again, and as I did before, had it upside down. You can see very clearly the Longines name embossed in this triple lock clasp. And moving on to apart from the face, obviously, my second favourite part of the watch, this really cool screw down back. I absolutely love it. Very heavily embossed, very, very nicely made. Again, with the Longines logo that seems to be all over the watch. And if you look very closely inside the bracelet at the top, you can see it has the kind of cutaway, so the bracelet can be changed easy enough for a rubber strap or a leather strap or whatever you would want to put on it. Personally, for me, I couldn't imagine this watch on anything but this bracelet, because I think the bracelet is absolutely gorgeous. A lovely click, and it's very, very solidly made. It has the inner links in polished, the outer links, the outer edges of the watch in brushed, and then turning it over, I just run my thumb across there to wipe off the fingerprints. Back again. This really nicely polished outer edge of the bracelet and of the watch too. Now, again, bringing it back to the face. From a distance, you got that lovely kind of almost blacky blue look about it. And then turning it into the sun, you can see that gorgeous blue dial. I think the later one has the new ceramic bezel and it has less markers on the watch face. But I actually think this one is just fine. I think it's a beautiful looking watch. There is a bit of Rolex in it, I guess, but then nowadays any diver's watch has, quite a lot of the same and is influenced by most of the obvious diver's watches you can buy on the market. So I suppose they all look kind of pretty similar. So popping the watch on my wrist, just to show you some wrist shots. I actually wear the watch quite loose because I like it to kind of move around on my wrist. But as you can see, I've got quite small wrists, had 2 links taken out. There is quite a bit of play in the bracelet itself, and it does slide on my wrist, but I love it. I think that's just perfect for me. I know there's a bit of a thing about having a watch that's tight, but with this one, it feels really comfortable. I think because of the H links and the way it kind of wraps itself around the wrist, it's just perfect for me. And I've worn it out now a couple of times. I still like it. I'm still getting on very well with it. The loom is very, very good. Needs a bit of charging. I'm not going to bother doing it because I think every watch review, especially on this one, is going to show the loom. It is a very good loom. Maybe not as good as some Seikos I've had in the past, but then there's very, very, very little I could complain about this watch. In fact, there's nothing that would stop me from having another one. I'd quite like it in black, and I'd quite like it bezel-less because I know they do the normal Hydroconquest. So that's a kind of more in-depth look at my new Longines Hydroconquest. As you can see, very elegant. It could be worn with a suit. It could be worn with a t-shirt. It could be kind of worn just about anywhere. It's as dressy as it is fashionable and sporty. So I hope you like the review, and I shall look forward to doing another review when I buy because I'm thinking about buying the Longines Legend Diver, or possibly the chronograph version of this watch. Tried it on yesterday, but that's for another day. Anyway, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy your watch, and don't forget to subscribe.